This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Glazebrook. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now before we get into the map, this video is brought to you by Brett Pruitt. Thank you for being a farm baron. So let's read a little bit of the description. It says, welcome to Glazebrook, which is a fictional-based English map. This map includes full season support. This map does indeed have a seasons mask. Now, it does not include a custom soil map. So if you wish to play with precision farming, you will be using the built-in generic soil map. All animals are built into the map with a little bit of a caveat, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. All brand new English real-life farm models, custom lighting engine, animated objects, custom soil, distance, grass, and ground textures. The map includes 2 cow farms, 2 sheep areas, which include farm and field, many sell points, and 108 small and medium fields. So with that, let's go ahead and jump on in. And once we get these mods selected, I'll go ahead and explain what I mean by not quite with respect to all of the animals being built in. Let's go ahead and pull up the log. So basically, if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, the cow triggers that we're going to see here at the main farm are non-existent. There is also a pig farm on the map that is non-existent. So I do want to show you where those are on the map. Now we do have this map loaded up in new farmer mode. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. You'll see that this map is a wee bit smaller than a standard size map. So a standard size map would extend up to about here, and then obviously go over to about here and down. So it is probably 3/4 or a little more than 3/4 of a standard size map. So if you load this map up on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you do not own any land. Okay, so you don't own any land, but this cow pasture, all of those triggers are gone. You can't buy them. They're just gone. This pig area up here, the triggers are also gone. You can't buy them. Doesn't matter if you own the land or not. They're gone. The horse farm here does have the triggers, as does the sheep farm. Now, the description says that there are 2 cow farms and 2 sheep farms. I don't know about that. Okay, now we're going to buy all of the land here in a little bit, but I still don't see them. When I was doing my early reconnaissance of the map, I didn't find them, and I did buy all of the land available on the map. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lands. We start out here at the main farm, which is a dairy farm. If we do not own this, we can buy it for $97,100. We also own Field 1 for $55,000, Field 9 for $40,000, Field 18 for $82,000, and Field 33 for $156,000. Now there is an arable farm kind of set up over here for $89,000. The horse farm we can buy for $133,000. The pig farm we can buy for $218,000. The sheep farm we can buy for $57,000. And then we can buy the biogas plant for $17,300. Now let me go ahead and buy all of the lands, and we will see if we indeed get some more animal areas. Okay, now that we have all of the lands purchased, you can see we are still not getting any other animal triggers. We have the marker here for the pigs. This is kind of an arable area possibly for $47,500. We have the sheep farm. We have the cow farm. We have the arable area that I spoke of earlier. We have the horse farm, which includes then a secondary. This is a buy point, sorry. We have the BGA area. And we could buy all of the unbuyable land for 9,000 or 9 million, sorry, 9 million and basically $500,000 to buy the unbuyables. So I'm not quite sure why the description says there are 2 cow farms, 2 sheep farms, because I don't see them. They're not here. There's 1 cow farm, 1 sheep farm, 1 pig farm, and 1 horse farm, and then at least 1 arable area that you could buy on your own down here by field 1, and likely another arable area over here south of field 79. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the generic soil map and how it is applied to these fields. So taking a look here, you can see that we have our typical swath of silty clay going around the western side of the map, looping up here and then kind of moving over here to the east. And then we have a big area patch of loamy sand and sandy loam. It's also over here, down here, and then down to the south. And then all of the areas between that are loam. We take a look at our sell points, and I really, really wish the Giants would not allow this. We have 2 grain sell points named the same, and we have 2 sugar beet sell points, once again named the same. So we have 2 main sell points for the bulk of our grain crops. We have 2 sell points for sugar beet and potato. That is also going to be where you're going to sell your sugar cane should you decide to grow that. The spinnery is going to accept our cotton and wool. We have 3 sell points for our eggs and milk. Now, there is nothing listed here for wood chips, but there is a wood chip sell point up at the sawmill. So I don't know why it's not listed here. We do own the biogas plant now because we did buy all the land. So you can see the biogas plant there, but that is first off not owned at the start. And then we have a bale sell point for a silage, hay, straw, and grass if we do not own the biogas plant. And that is also going to be where you're going to sell your pellets if you have the straw harvest add-on. Now we start out with a ton of equipment, absolute ton of starting equipment. All is new, none of it is leased. We do not have any animals at the start, and we do have contracts available to us. But remember, I went and bought all the land trying to find those other animal areas, and therefore we do not see any we do not see any field contracts listed on this page. Now let's take a look at our huge starting equipment. Start with the Case Puma 185 CVX, the Maxim CVX 115, the Fendt 1050, then we have the Case 34 CVX, then we have the JCB Fast Track 8330, and that is our tractor fleet. So our tractors range in horsepower from 145 to 517. We have 2 pickup trucks, the 1978 and 2014 variation. We have the Bandit 750 trailer and a Transpace 8000 trailer. We have the Agrimaz POH 5 plow, Amazon Centis 803 2TX super cultivator, and the Castros 6002-2 cultivator. We have the Kuhn DC 401 subsoiler, a Horsch Pronto 9 DC seeder. We have the Horsch Mysterio 12 SW planter. We have the Kuhn Deltas sprayer, the spray tank for the front. Then we have the Kuhn Fertilize spreader for the back. We have the NovaCat wing mower, and that is paired up with the front mower. Then we have the GF 8712 tedder. We have the GA 9531 windrower, the Kuhn square baler, and round baler with wrapper. We have the Silo King TMR mixer, and then we have the Primor 1570 straw blower. We have the Joskin Aquatrans water trailer, a front loader arms, bucket, pallet fork, bale spike, and then weight. And we do have 2 base game silos, as well as a placeable seed tank. Like I said, we have a ton of starting equipment. Now, if we take a look at our placeables, we do not have any custom animal pens. Under miscellaneous, we do have the custom feed tank that we can buy. There are no custom silos or anything else for that matter available on the map as far as what is built in. So let's go ahead and take a tour of the main farm. We do have our sleep trigger right here at our load point. We did see that that is burned into the map. So if you want to have a sleep trigger somewhere else, well, that might be rather difficult. Now on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, you do not own this land, but the sleep trigger is still present. And again, if you buy this farm in Farm Manager mode or Start from Scratch, the cow triggers are missing. So here we have our pickup trucks. And then right down the lane, we enter into our farm area. And right out the bat here on the left, we have our water trough for our cows. So we do make use of the animal pen extension mod, and that is what is the blue pipes here, if you have not seen those. And they help us identify, one, does this map have custom support for the animal pen extension mod? Two, helps us locate where the water triggers might be. And, well, also helps us locate where the milk trigger is, and that is right here by the Milk Max homogenizer. And again, this Lily milk sales machine is part of the animal pen extension mod. And if we position this, for example, right there, then we could also use this to do automatic milk sales should we so wish. Over here we have our slurry tank for our cows. We have our cow delivery point right here. 500 cows in this particular pen. We have our food trough right here. And I believe that our straw trigger is right here. But I also think it's upside down. Okay. So the reason I think it's upside down is typically, let me try to get a good angle on this so we can see it better. Okay. Try to get a good angle on it. All right. So typically the straw trigger has these two lines close together, but they are at the ground level, whereas this has it up there. So I haven't found what should be the straw trigger or look like the straw trigger anywhere than here, and it looks upside down. Okay, I haven't tried to put straw here to see, but I do believe this is where the straw trigger is. But again, it looks like it's upside down. Now we do have our silage. We have two silage bunkers. So we have one right there and one right here. Now on new farmer mode, the two silage bunker triggers do exist, but none of the cow triggers exist. Now I haven't found anywhere that the manure obviously piles up, so I am expecting the manure to kind of show up inside of this particular building. I do have a milk, or not a milk, but a fuel trigger located right here. And then the rest of the farm is basically dedicated to vehicle and equipment storage. You find a fair bit of our tractor fleet parked inside of there. Our haymaking equipment, animal care equipment over here. We have our silo, we have our dump point, and our fill point right here where the trailers are parked. We have our fertilizer spreader. Some more of our baling equipment. Some field work and planting equipment. And then just some nice additional storage. Now, we may also have a few free bales scattered around. When I walk up to this, I do get a hand. it says object too heavy. So it kind of implies that these may be available for use. And that is pretty much the main starting farm. So we're going to go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We're going to take a look around the map from above, and then we're going to land down at the shop, get our Mahindra, and do a bit of a drive. Get a little bit of altitude and go ahead and do a little spin. We can see that the map is not flat, but it is also not overly hilly. Just some nice subtle rolling hills in the fields. We do have hedges, of course, because this is a British style map. So we will need to check and see if those hedges do indeed have collisions on them or not. And that is pretty much a quick rotational view of the map. Let's go ahead and head on in this general direction. First thing we're going to come to is one of the two potato and sugar beet sell points down here where these two sheds are. Then all the way down here in the southeast corner of the map, this is one of the arable farms that we could buy. There's no silo here, just a couple buildings. Now we're making our way north to the horse farm, which is this big farm directly in front of us. You can see we have several buildings, and then the horse pasture right there. We do have a garden center here where we could buy seed. Now the dealership is right here to our left, but we're just going to avoid that for the moment. Our spinnery is located just below here where the forklift is. Just no real indication other than a forklift that there's anything there. Over here we have our animal dealer. And then a fuel point. And then we have a grain sell point. We have our second potato and sugar beet sell point, as well as our bale sell point right here. Let's just kind of look across the map down toward the south as we move across the northern edge of the map here. And down here we have our sawmill. And we do have right here our wood chip pile. So that does have a trigger on it, as you can see right there. And we have our log sell point. But why it doesn't show wood chips in the menu, I'm not really sure. We have our pig farm up here, and again, on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, these animal triggers are not present at this particular farm. Loop on around to the biogas plant, which actually encompasses two different areas upon two different levels. We have our digester and silage bunkers here at the lower level, and then our digestate trigger is actually up here at the upper level. Kind of an interesting setup. Over here we have another possible arable farm location. Directly in front of us, we have the second grain sell point. And then we have the sheep farm, which is located right here. The last sell point is located right here. It is the shop. And, well, I would be remiss if I didn't show you guys the, well, rather interesting pedestrian thing going on here. A little concerning. Don't bring your kids down here to the shop, parents. All right, so back to the shop, and then we will start our drive around. So down here at the shop, we do have our customized repair, sell, and trade triggers inside of this bay. So you're going to bring your equipment to right about this area here. And then we have our trigger for that operation right there. And then inside of this door, we have the office, the sales office, if you will. And then we have our shop trigger. So kind of an interesting setup here. Then we'll come out to the outside of our John Deere dealership. And you're going to find our Mahindra is actually right there. So there is our spawn point for our new vehicles. Not the biggest spawn point, but still I think you could probably spawn in a good half dozen to 10 different things, depending on the size of everything. So I think we need to loop around. Yeah, there we go. So the initial spawn point is really close here to the entrance of the shop. Let's go ahead and see, do these have collisions? No, they do not. The hedges appear to be collision free. Let's go ahead and just turn up here and make our way up to the north. Traffic is fairly slow, moving about 24 miles an hour. And it looks like we need to figure out how to get down a level. So it looks like this road is going to take us around. And then down. So we have a combination of hedgerows, fences, and then of course gates into the various fields. So the way this road network appears to be laid out, it is very much going to feel like the map is significantly bigger than it is, simply because there's going to be so many, I mean, you're going to have to double back and everything. no direct line to lots of sell points. So this right here is the spinnery. So it's pretty much just this shed and this forklift. And then that is the spinnery. Double back because this is going to take us kind of a big bump here. That might be difficult to get into depending on your trailer and your truck or tractor. Okay, this is another arable farm that I didn't realize until just now. Okay. I thought I was getting into the animal dealer, but no, this is kind of an arable area. So you see where we were here. And then this road loops around. And then down. So yeah, the animal area is further down the road. So my confusion actually led us to discover something else about this map. So here we have the animal dealer. Right here. And then really the only fuel spot here on the map other than what appeared to be a fuel trigger at the starting farm. We have our petrol station here, to use English terminology. Then we have a grain sell point. One of our grain sell points. Now let's go ahead and figure out which one of these is it. Because again, remember, we have 2 grain sell points. Okay, so the top grain sell point is down here by field 27, 28, and 62. We can't, doesn't appear that it's going to let us tag this one. But that must mean that the bottom grain sell point is the one up here by field 99, right here. And then inside the shed here, we have 2 other sell points. The one on the right is potato, sugar beet, and then the one on the left is bales. So here's the potato and sugar beet sell point. And here is the bale sell point. I think what we'll do is just continue on this road. And the way it looks like on the PDA, this is going to take us around to the highway. We've seen a fair bit of highways as of late on maps. Be curious to see if we come across any any traffic, if they're going faster on the highway or not. But let's get off and check out the horse farm and the seed buy point. The horse farm is here to our left. And before we get too far, we have our horse dealership trigger right here. 8 horses. We have our food trough. We have our water trough. And I believe the straw trigger is right here. Now let's take a look here. And remember what I was talking about over at the cow area. How the straw trigger typically has a little box at the bottom. Okay. And we can see that kind of here. So that's really why I think that the straw trigger over at the cow area is upside down. And then we've got some nice big sheds. We can use this to dump grain in, store vehicles, implements, bales, and whatnot. Down here at the horse farm. So let's head on then across the road to our bulk seed buy point. Interesting, we're missing a bit of grass texture back there. I don't know if that was intended to be really well pruned or trimmed cut grass, or if it was just missing. That is the texture right there, the other side of the fence. Now let's see if this is just seed, or maybe it's seed, fertilizer, or lime. So it is just seed, nothing else. I think what we'll do is continue on down this road, then make our way across the southern part of the map. Okay, this road loops around and then goes up a level. Again, like what I was saying, the way the road network is laid out on this map, it's going to play a lot larger than it is, because you're going to have to do a whole lot of doubling back to get to places. Almost like a lot of the areas you can only get to one way, versus say a map that might have like a ring road going around it. So here we have the second sugar beet and potato sell point. Kind of a tight entrance into here. Then the dump station should be right inside of this door. So there we have our dump station. You're going to have to back into there. Let's just make sure there's a proper collision on this. So the reason I drive over all of these dump stations is we've had an incident in FS17. I don't think we've had incidents in 19. But we have had incident in 17 where, sadly, the dump station of a map put out by a fairly prominently spoken of mapper, one of the sell points didn't have a collision trigger, and you would fall into the dump grate. So that's why I like to drive over these, just to make sure that they are drive overable. So there we have our start farm. That's where our main farm is. Continue on into the small town here, and that's where the shop sell point is. The shop sell point is a place to sell our eggs and milk. So the shop is right here at the bakery, and this is where we have the weird thing going on with the pedestrian spline. It's just a bunch of guys just kind of warping in and out of each other. A little interesting, a little disturbing maybe. Here we have our sheep farm. So the sheep farm, we do have our second silo that is part of our owned property. So we have the dump station. And then the fill pipe is right there. So very, very close to this tree. In fact, you might find yourself wanting to take out these lines of trees because that just seems awful close. Trying to get a trailer between there. I'm sure they will fit, but you got to be pretty exacting, I think. Let me have some machine sheds, Oregon. You could dump grain into there. We have our sheep delivery point, 250 sheep. Then inside here we have our food trough, as well as our water trough. And then I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that our wool is either going to spawn here or inside of this shed. So I don't know exactly where the wool's going to spawn. I did not buy sheep, feed them, and fast forward a bunch to figure that out. But those are the two semi-logical places that I could see sheep wool spawning. This is interesting. So here we have our second grain sell point. So this is the top grain sell point when you look at them on the prices screen. This is a pull through sell point. There we have our dump station there. Now, these doors on this side of the building, they can be opened, this door. So you could, in theory, use this area also as machinery storage or whatever. Coming on up to our traffic circle. Let's go ahead on over here to our biogas plant. And then the biogas plant, if you remember from the flyover, is actually at 2 different levels. A little interesting design here. We haven't really seen this type of a layout really before. So our digestate trigger is here on the upper level. And here is our digestate pipe right there. And then the silage bunkers and digester is down the hill here. So we have our 2 silage bunkers, and then we have our digester here at the very end. Let's just make sure that we do have our triggers. There we have 1 and 2. So we've got just 2 more places to look at. We've got our sawmill and then our pig farm. So this is kind of interesting. This little decorative bit. Through a very narrow road here. Really glad we don't have AI traffic on these basically single lane roads. Single lane lanes, maybe. More like it. We've seen a couple forested areas as we did our fly around. And here we have our pig farm. These little trees are interesting. And then we have a nice interesting. I mean, it's kind of is like, is this like is this the pig farmer's house? He's got like a little informational sign outside his door. So we've got some large buildings again for dumping grain in, storing implements, vehicles, whatever. And then we have our pig area. So we have our water trough here inside the pig pen. We have our food trough right here. And if we do our F5, we can see that we have our straw trigger right there. Okay. And at the end of the food trough. And then we have our pig area right here. 300 pigs in this particular pen. We already have our animals. Let's go ahead and just see what the food requirements are. So the pigs are fairly standard. Sheep are standard. Cows, once again, are standard. And so are the horses. There we have the Shiggy pig farm. Interesting. We've got our manure there. And our slurry is right over here. And then one final area, which is going to be the sawmill. So again, like I mentioned in the flyover, there is no wood chip price in the prices screen, but there is a trigger down here at the sawmill for the wood chip heap. So it does look like you can indeed sell wood chips here. But I'm not really sure why it was set up or not set up to show the prices. So here we have the log, sell point, and trigger. And you can see we have the trigger here at the wood chip heap. So there's definitely something there to sell wood chips, but it's not showing up in the prices screen. So guys, that is going to do us for Glazebrook. I want to thank you for coming out and watching today's video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this particular map? Is this a map that you have already started playing? Is this a map that you look forward to getting a start on? And until next time, happy farming.